Hello and welcome to the second part of this tutorial. Now, just a couple of bits we need to do before we go into the blueprint editor, and that is we need to check the normals on the doors, because before when we had it in Train Simulator we could see through the door from the inside, so we need to change that. You'll notice that I've actually I've done the driver's door as well, resized it and put hinges on the driver's door, so you can do that in your own time whenever, but yeah, they're already there, so they're done. They're not going to move. You won't open the driver's door, to be honest. So just make sure, if you have got them and you copy them from here, whatever, make sure you take off any animations before you export it. And in fact, I'm going to do that because I don't remember doing it. So if I click on the hinge, yes, they've got animations, so just make sure you clear the animations off those. I don't think these had an animation, no, so they're okay, that's cleared them. Okay, I haven't attached those to the doors, I can do that at any time. Okay, so we said let's check for face orientation, and yeah, we can see the doors have their normals the wrong way round. So I'm going to let's isolate that. Let's go edit mode, select all, mesh, normals, recalculate outside. If it doesn't recalculate them outside, you might need to select that face and just flip normals, but that worked, so that's okay. Let's go back, let's do that side again, because they're instances, all the other doors will follow suit. So yeah, isolate that one, edit mode, select all, mesh, normals, recalculate outside. So there we go, that's that done. Driver's door, now isolate that. These are together because they're not gonna open, so I never bothered to separate these. Edit mode, select all, and mesh, normals, recalculate outside. So that's those done. So that's great, but I can see some red at the back here, so we need to do that. So let's have a look at this back wall. Okay, and select edit mode, and let's have a look. Let's go on to there and zoom in. That's it. Right, I got the original edge there where we mirrored it, so I'm going to get rid of that edge. X, dissolve edge, and there's one on the outside as well, so I'll get rid of that. Okay, and let's now select that face and mesh, normals, recalculate outside. It's not done it, so this is when we have to go to normals and flip. Okay, and that's done it. Make sure it hasn't affected the outside face. So that's it, that's all done. Okay, so let's come out of the face orientation. Let's go into our edit mode, sorry, object mode, and that should be it. So end on. Okay, B, select all, and just get rid of the bits that you don't want to export, which are these empties. So there we go, and there's one up the front somewhere. Yep, there it is. So that's it. So just make sure you ain't got any of the lights or cameras there, and let's go to our IGS export, and yes, that's set. Okay, and we just select that one and go export IGS. There we go, and it tells us that it's all okay. So that is it. That's ready for us to go into the blueprint editor, and we're going to make this drivable and hopefully make the doors open. So I'll see you then. So to the blueprint editor. Now I've got the engine blueprint up and we just want to work our way through it to get the vehicle drivable and to get the animation working. So let's see what we've got to change. Browse information, no, none of that changes. Rail vehicle component, we've put the pivot points. We don't need coupling points at all there. We've not got any coupling elements at all. Put the pivot points. We haven't put the collision box. We haven't set that. So either go to Chris's Trains, which has an online one, or you can make your own like I have here, okay, which calculates the collision centres. So let's go back. I think I can remember some of them. Collision Y 2.132. I'm probably wrong there. I'm probably wrong. Oh no, I wasn't. 1.985 for the height. 1.984. I'm doing the ones I remember. This was 2.78, and the collision length I know was 20.22. Okay, so we've just we've done that collision box now. As I say, all the calculations here are given in the developer's guide, so you can set up, if you're okay with spreadsheets, you can set up your own there. Bogies, we set those last time. Okay, so we don't have to alter that. Nothing here, nothing here. Head out camera, no, we don't need that. So that's it then. That's it for that tab. Open the render component. The engine IGS, we don't need to alter that. That's already done. Anim set, we do need to add our animations here. These are our door animations. Obviously there's others there that might come into it, like the wipers at some point, but we're doing the door, so door animation. Right, animation ID. Okay, we'll call this doors left. There we go. Animation name is this one, doors left, so copy that path, and then yeah, tick that. Okay, next one is going to be doors right, and let's click this one, so copy, paste, and okay that. So that's the start of our doors animation. Okay, we'll call these up further down. Now, engine simulation container. Now, originally we used this one here, class 7 307 engine sim. Now that was just an empty sim blueprint, so it had no settings in it at all. So a train wouldn't move if you kept that one. So we need one that actually works. Now, the easiest way is to go to your developers folder. Now that's a separate folder if you haven't got that. If you go to the developers guide, DTG developers guide, at the end of it, it gives a link to a developers folder, and in there is all examples from different things, scenery, engines, the lot. So using that, we can go to this example engine, electric, and we've got simulation here. So we've got folder, and it's got all the elements we need. It's got the CSV files. Now CSVs are generally used to look up values at certain speeds. So at 10 miles an hour, look up this is the setting. At 20, this is the setting. So that's what the CSV files are usually used for. The Lua files, it's got the Lua file in there. Now if I show an Explorer, there we go, and I'll just show you the Lua file in Notepad++. There we go. There's the example Lua file that you use. It's empty at the moment. It's got nothing in there, but it's got the basic functions for setting up variables, and a function there for updating the variables. So your initial variables will be put in there, and any ones you want updating will go in there. We probably won't be using them on this project, but that is an example of the Lua file for your engine sim. Okay, so copy all of those across, and just put them in your own simulation file. I've put here, I've got 274, it's actually a 294 I think, but I've just copied those, put them in here, and when you've got them in here, okay, just make sure you point to the right path. Okay, here's these CSV files, and they'll probably have reference to the original folder. So what you want to do is you want to once you've put them in your folder or whatever, copy and just paste like that. Okay, and it's those two, so there's two there, and you'll find one in the brake section as well. There'll be one, brake effort versus speed, that all need changing over. Okay, and of course down here is the script, so that will need changing as well to point to the Lua file that's in your folder. Okay, so make sure you change those and then save them out once you've changed them. And so here we want to reference that which we have, which is this one here. So copy that and just paste that there. Okay, so that's the engine sim file. Okay, we've set that. Now control container. Now the first one we come to is the cab view, basically, and here we have got a cab, but what you might want to do is when you're creating new vehicles or whatever, what you might want to do is create almost like dummy cabs that may not match the actual class or whatever, but you can use to drive it either long term or while you're testing it out. And so you might have the one I'm going to use here has got sort of, it's based on like a 415 or something like that, so it's got the two windows, it's got you can see where the head code box is and the destination box and bits and bobs like that. So this isn't the cab for the 307, but it will look the part, or it would if it was textured. It's not textured, but it would look the part. You could use it to test out, and if you had no idea what the actual cab looked like, it would be a reasonable facsimile of what it might look like. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use, and I've just got these listed as generic cabs. So if I copy this IGS and paste that there, okay, and then here we want the XML, so copy and paste that there. Okay, now any references in those XMLs will point to this folder, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so that's the cab sorted, just for now anyway. Control values. Now we could add each one, for instance, like this regulator, and then set it to how we want it. Okay, we could do that every time we make a new vehicle, or we can go to the sample files again. We can bring up the sample engine file, and then we can go to here, go to control values, and we've got all our control values there. So we could just copy, okay, and then just paste the control values. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. And what we would have to do though, all of those would reference animations that are in that sample file folder. Okay, so if we look here, it references IA files, okay, which it would give us an error And in fact, if I just export this, you'll see it throws out an error saying that it can't find a sample like IA. Okay, so you would have to go through and just delete all the IA references, okay, from there. So that would be what you'd need to do, or you could create like I've got here. Let's come down here. Where are we? I've created the same thing, and I've just called it EMU dummy, which is all these, but it's got all those references taken out. So if I copy that and now paste that, oh, hang on. I'm trying to paste the file. Yeah, so if I select those control values and I paste those instead, there we go. Then I don't have to worry about any references because I know I've taken them out. I'm going to delete these last two. Now also, you know, this can be very, very awkward because under pantograph control you will need that because pantograph is set for the engine sim file, so it will look for a pantograph control value. So you'll need that, otherwise it won't drive. But on the sample file it hasn't got this exterior animation, and I've noticed that it won't work without that, or it didn't work for me without that. So this is the actual animation for the pantograph there. You don't have to do any of the settings. All you have to do is add element and exterior animation. Okay, so if you do just copy them from there, make sure when you get to this one you've added that exterior animation. Okay, now the two I took away are the door opening elements here, so that comes under this setting, which is doors open, close, left. Okay, and you can fill this out to give a description if you want, and add an element. And again, this is the exterior animation, okay, which is the one we referenced. This is the one we had up there. So the reference here, you can give it a name. Let's call it doors and L. Okay, the animation ID is that one we called it up there, which is doors left. Okay, and the anim style is toggle. We want to toggle it on and off. So that's the one. Let's add another one, which is there we go, doors open, close, right. I'm not sure I've spelled that correct. Yep. Okay, and again, add an element, exterior animation. Okay, and yeah, again, doors are, and this was doors right. There we go, and toggle. So that's it. Okay, so that's it for our control values. So coming down here then, what we want, script component, make sure that's pointing to the Lua file, and the Lua file is pretty much the same as the Lua file for the engine sim. So let me bring that up. There we go, and let's just look at that. So same thing, we've got you might put a setup function here to set up variables to start with, but this is like an on control change. So when a value changes, say with the regulator, it goes into a routine here to do something. Okay, so that is the Lua. We're not going to, and this isn't about understanding Lua scripting. We will use Lua script, just a very small script to turn the cab light on. Okay, because you can't do that from within the control values. So you'll have to do it in the Lua file. So that's all we're going to use that for. Okay, so that we've got the animation set, we've got our script. Now cargo, we do need cargo, and it's cargo def, add element, and we want this passenger doorway def. Okay, and here we have to set each door that we've got in our vehicle. Okay, so offset would be perhaps 1.39 from the center, 7.05 from the center of the vehicle in the Z direction, or what was our Y direction in Blender. Okay, you can give it a name, like you might want to go door 01 right, something like that, so you know what door it represents. And this is how many people use the door per second, and you can go something like 2, something like that. Okay, you need to do that for each door, or again go into our dummy file. Let me delete that one. Go to our dummy file. You can set that up in your dummy file, so that all you've got to do is copy, okay, and paste. There we go, just paste, and you've got all those elements set there, all ready to go. Okay, so all it leaves now is for you to save this out. So export, there we go, and by the look of that, I need to disappear so I can see it. Yep, it says exported successfully. So now all that's left is for us to go into Train Sim, and let's see these doors opening and closing. So here we are, we're in Train Sim, we're at Southend Victoria Station. Okay, and here's the, let me close that down, here's the temporary cab. And now let's go outside and see whether the doors are working. So let's go out here, around here. Now the only difference is I went back and I just changed the colour of the inside of the door to brown, just so you could see it when it opened against the green background. Okay, here we go, moment of truth, press the load, and there we go, the doors opened. People have come out, some people are heading towards going in and some people walk through boards. She perhaps needs to get some guidance on not walking straight into solid objects, but there we go. I saw someone go in at the back there, so it's working. And after a set time, door shut, and we're ready to go. So let's go back to the cab here. Now next station's just up by this signal there, you can just about see it here, so it's not a long ride. Let me just use the rail driver here, and let's just move forward, and I'll keep the speed down. I want to get there fast. It doesn't matter if I'm speeding, but I've got to change track there, so I don't want to risk risk derailing the train by going too fast. So here we go. Okay, so now we're moving so that we can test the left hand doors, make sure they open okay. And here we come, just a little way further, and we can see the yeah, so let's put a bit of brake on, and we should be there very shortly. Here we are, and I'll put it into emergency so we stop reasonably quickly. Okay, and let's go outside, let us stop. There we go, and now let's press that button again, and there we go, doors open again, passengers coming out, some going in. So the left hand side appears to be working, and we should get a timer in a minute just coming up there, and when that timer gets to the allotted amount of time, it will trigger the doors to be shut again. So let's have a look at that. They better hurry up, we're going to be off in a minute. Oh, he's missed it back there. Right, okay then, so that's worked. Right and left both worked. So let's go back to our cab, and there we go. So that's working. The vehicle is driving. Okay, and just to show you these controls, there we go. We have a certain amount of control here, and yeah, so that's working. Although this is only temporary cab, it's not going to look like this, the final cab. Okay, so let's move off into the sunset, and let's wrap this tutorial up with one last observation. Now, be careful about the engine sim file that you use, and make sure it's fitting for the type of vehicle you're going to be using, because I reckon that the one I'm using here is for a bullet train, because we're already up to 100 miles an hour, and look at the acceleration on here. Admittedly, we got no carriages on the back there, but we are doing 140 like that. And I don't think this branch line will be able to take speeds like this. Some of these curves I'm sure will derail us in a minute or two, but anyway, it worked. The vehicle is drivable, and the doors open. So that's what we wanted to achieve with this one. We've done it, and it just leaves for me to say cheerio, see you in the next one before I derail this train. Okay, see you in the next one.